Okay, everybody, it is 4:43 a.m. I've just finished, I not just, I actually finished it about 3 hours ago. The new Dune movie. Now, I wasn't going to say anything about this. I mean, it was just uh, something that occurred to me because I kept seeing other reviewers giving this so much praise. I mean, even the people who had some kind of negative things to say, still gave it quite a bit of praise. And I decided to get on here and tell you my opinion. Now, keep in mind, I'm somebody who has seen thousands and thousands of movies, and I think I'm a little bit older than some of these reviewers. And the thing is, here's what I have to go with, just to kind of set the mood here. In this movie, there's no such thing as projectile weapons. There is dropping bombs that look like little missiles, but it is a Game of Thrones sword fight through the entire movie that gets very dull and mediocre. Um, that is the kind of feeling that you're going to get through this movie, and I'm going to go from the very beginning to the end real quick. We're going to kind of, you know, nitpick this. Why am I nitpicking? Because this is a forgettable movie. I would have literally just moved on and just not done anything. But everybody's rating this a 10 for sci-fi movies. A 10. That just seems so bizarre to me that I have to get this out. I don't see what people see in this movie. First of all, the visuals are pretty good. The visuals are really good. I mean, you get some really cool setup shots and everything. The In a sci-fi movie, let's start off with this. You need tech. The tech needs to be cool. Now I realize they're dealing with source material that is from the 60s, and I mean the source material, this guy made up stuff that is we have so much cooler technology nowadays than we do way back when, so he couldn't even comprehend this, so you kind of needed to update that a little bit, just a little bit, to make more sense with today's world, because now we have guns that shoot around like corners, we have drones, we have security systems. You know what they don't have in this movie? Any of those or anything even remotely close to that. It's like the tech, you still see people eating with spoons and forks, which it seems mundane, just to mention that, but they're eating the regular food. I mean, this is 10,000 years into the future, not 1,000, not 200, not even 2,000 years into the future. 10,000. You would think that we would just be having, like, here, here's your pill. That's your food for the day. Or here, just put this enzyme into this little vial, and it absorbs into your skins. You don't have to eat anymore. Oh, we don't have to kill an object. Oh, we don't have to do this. Here's some paste. I mean, you watch any movie from 1990, that, like, even the movie uh The Fifth Element has hundreds of more intelligent things than this movie, of how this society works and how just little advancements come from years into the future. I mean, this is literally 10,000. You would think that things would be way more advanced, especially if we've boomed so much from 60s and up. But that's just getting a little nitpicky. But let's go into this. So the plot, you have the plot of, here you go, the one. The character is the one. And yeah, but he doesn't know he's the one. He doesn't know, but everybody else for some reason does. It's like, oh, the prophecy says. Who made up this prophecy? I don't get why everybody even cared so much about this character. Why everybody's like, oh well, he could be like the leader of this world of people that we meet, his little colony. But why does everybody care? Yeah, he's a male learning this weird superpower that his mother has, and she's part of like these. They call her witches at one point. And the thing is, it's so stupid because we don't understand this idea of where everybody is coming from saying, "Hey, you're the one." We don't Nothing explains that even remotely. At least in Harry Potter, people say that because he's the only person who's ever lived from Voldemort's death spell. I mean, it makes some kind of sense. Here, this makes no sense whatsoever in any form or fashion. Why anybody would even care about this person or even think that he's the one in any form or fashion. At least in the Matrix, it was a handful of people, and Morpheus was saying it, and the Oracle was saying this, and like there was something to go on to and explain something, and when we delved into that. Here, it's like brushed aside, but then brought back, and then brushed aside, then brought back, then brushed aside, and you don't care. You don't care. In fact, it makes it mundane. It makes it so pointless and stupid. But yet, it's a running factor of why people give up their life for this person, but it doesn't make sense. We don't understand it. And you're like, oh, well, this is part one. No, 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 no. Part one is supposed to get you into that. It's supposed to make you realize why that's going on because that invests you into the story. If you don't have that, you don't have you don't have the audience stuck into that story. You have the audience floating over here going, "Huh? Why? I don't care." Moving that's part of the main story. But the main story is these people, this race, goes down, takes over Dune, the planet, to harvest a valuable resource. Yay! Then you have this bad people. I'm making it very vague because I don't want to get into too much. I'm going to be vague. Bad people. By the way, they are bad. Bad civilization. They are now going to come in and kill the good people who populated Dune, and the people who live on Dune are kind of happy that these people took over because they seem like good people. But these people come down and destroy them. And then the boy goes to the Dune people. I'm going to keep it vague. And that's the end of the movie. It's a very generic thing there, and the whole idea of Dune is supposed to be this big political, debate back and forth and all this. You don't get any politics. You don't get any kind of sides. You don't feel that there's any kind of side over here. You're like, okay, so those people are just bad. They're just the Nazis. At least, even if we had a story with the Nazis, we would at least have some kind of story saying, by the way, here's why the Nazis did this. They were had this in World War II. This is why the Nazis had all of this hatred towards this and caused this and that, and this is why America came in and did this. There's a story there. There's some kind of thing. Let's learn a little bit about this side. Let's learn about this side. Let's understand why this side is doing this because it makes the story interesting. Here we just have blank face of bad versus good people. That's all we know, and it's so mundane and so outdone and boring. Here you have things that like Avengers Infinity War, which made you really understand the villain. You understood why the villain was happening. Here, this epic story, you understand why this stuff is happening. Now you now say, well, this is kind of like a Lord of the Rings. Even with Lord of the Rings, we understood what Sauron was doing. Okay, you understood Sauron created this and did this because he wanted to conquer everything. He had this, and that. He wanted this and this and that going on, and you understood. There was a general understanding because it was a fantasy world. This is supposed to be world building, and that was fantasy. Fantasy is supposed to be a little bit more vague and good and evil and stuff like that. But this, if this was supposed to be a completely fantasy story with angels and demons and dragons, that would make sense. Evil. Okay? That was just evil. But no, this is not just evil. There's supposed to be some kind of political stance here. It's supposed to be smarter, and it's not smarter. In fact, it's dumber. It's dumber, way dumber. And so that's the plot. That's just the general plot. Just the general plot of it all. And here you have the dumbest things, like how do they come in and kill all of the bad or the good people. The bad people come in and kill the good people, sneak in, they're little assassins and stuff, and then they come all on board. Now, the person who is supposed to be the assassin is somebody who was a turncoat who betrayed everybody because his wife was taken hostage and kid by the bad people and killed. And then he gives, I don't want to give too much spoilers, but so he does this. The thing is, with that, what makes this stupid? Well, um, let's see. Technology. If you have people who are stationed to protect the highest level of even just the Washington, we have little monitors on people. So if they die, if their heartbeat is gone, we know, oh, that person's dead. Oh no, we need to contact somebody. Bloop, doop, doop. Bring. Now here they have a little button on the back of their head. Hey, come in. But they only contacted like the one person. It's not like, hey, oh, I can't get a hold of anybody. Speed dial someone else. Hey, I can't get a hold of so and so. Can you? They don't have anything like that. It's too advanced. Here in 2021, it's way too advanced for 10,000 AD. But still, even then, you would have a security system. I have a security system in my house. They don't have any security systems over there. They have a dome that protects them. That's it. If you breach that, you're good. They don't have guns. There's no such thing as projectiles. Just little mundane, stupid things. They have poison. They have flying machines. They have little drill things that try to pierce stuff, but they can only shoot one at a time. You would think if they had a little drill that somebody's like, okay, and it's trying to get through their force field, they're like, oh no, to have a machine gun of those kinds of things. Down there's like 100 of them, and the person's like, oh no, king, 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 king. I mean, that seems more like it would work. It would be very effective. Why not make that into a machine gun? I don't understand why not. It's not like nobody has resources to do cool things. They have flying machines. They have all these big building materials. It's so stupid. And then you would think, okay, well, what about the action? How's the action? The action is the worst TV show action you've ever seen. And TV shows, they only have like a budget of like $100,000, so they don't put a lot into these stories. They don't put a lot in the action. Here, it's the exact same thing. It is like Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of action. Sword. I actually laughed really hard when you have the villain bombing everybody, throwing out bombs, and all the other people are like, oh, we can't do anything about it. We only have swords. And then the bad guys land and then release their guys out there and be like, go use your swords. And where we could have just dropped bombs on these people, no, go use your swords and beat them. And so you have two armies running at each other and clash using swords. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I'm not watching old medieval, you know, battle. I'm watching space. This is futuristic. This is the future. Why am I watching a sword battle here? And it's boring. It is so boring. The battles are so boring. You watch the first little battle in the very beginning with the little boy. He's actually learning how to do that, and he's like, I know how to do this. And then he's like, the other guy who's teaching him is like, no, 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 we have to do this. And so they do this little battle, and it's the exact same thing you see the rest of the movie, every battle. And then here's the thing: at certain points, the movie forgets that the little boy and his mother have a superpower. They use it and kill these people for, who are flying this plane and gonna drop them off and kill them. Okay, so the little boy does this, and the mother, and they control this and get these people killed and kill them. There's three of them. Then go off on this little thing. They have this superpower. They can communicate and control people, and it happens a lot in the story where the kid is trying to learn how to perfect his, and he's not good enough. Well, at the end of the movie, the little kid has to be on a one-on-one fight with someone. Why doesn't he just use it? Even the mother, why doesn't she just use it? In fact, they could control everybody in the area. Why don't they use it? It's like plot device. Hey, we're gonna forget about this superpower when it's not helpful. They could have used it so many times. It's insane. To fix their situation, but they don't. They don't at all. And then you have a situation like this where you have the bad guys descending, coming in, but you have all the good people, they hid. And so when the bad guys are coming across, the good people jump out and attack, and they look like they have the upper hand. It's like the good people just killed all of those people. And then what happens? We find moments later that I'm not going to spoil with using names because I'm trying not to I'm telling situations, but I'm not spoiling who dies or who doesn't. So you have the good people in this area, and they're like, "Oh no, look, all our troops are dead." But we didn't know that. We didn't understand that there was any kind of threat. Those people weren't winning. The bad guys weren't winning last time we saw it, but now all of a sudden the bad guys won. Oh no. We now see that they won. So now you have one character goes, I got this, and shuts the thing and is like, last stand. Let's do this. And he's fighting them. I don't care. I don't care because I, first of all, I don't really have any investment in this character, but at the same time, I don't feel that there were huge stakes. I mean, yes, life is at stake, but I didn't feel intensity build up for that scene. I didn't see that, oh no, where do we go? We have nowhere to go. Oh no. Dun dun dun. Oh, what do we do? Oh no, they're coming. They're right behind us. Nothing can stop them. The Matrix set that up immensely at during the sequences with a Neo, the original Matrix, with Neo having to run away from the agents because nothing can beat the agents. Oh my goodness, how do we beat the agents? So when he has to go face to face and have to actually square up, you're like, what? There is stakes. You feel this intensity. Here, this movie, you don't ever feel intensity. You know that this kid is a good fighter. You know he has a superpower. You know he could use these things, but he chooses not to. He can't help anything. And you're even told that this other character is gonna die earlier in the film. I saw your death. And then you see he's like, oh, I have to shut this. And you're like, well, we know he's gonna die. We've seen his death, and this boy can't get through there to help him. So we know he's going to die. You've spoiled this moment for us early in the film. We don't care. And so just that stuff happens throughout the entire movie. We don't care about anything. It's so pointless and mundane. If this movie came out 25 years ago, we'd still be like, "Oh, it happened, move on with our lives." This movie is going to be the same. People are going to be like, oh, all these reviews are going to blow up because people think if I write good things, I'm going to be invited to review their next stuff. I'm not going to be invited for crap. So I'm going to tell you straight up, this movie was completely mundane, droll, dreary and boring. And here's the thing, I like boring movies. I like movies that are slow at building the world and building things. For the most part, I liked Blade Runner 2049. I liked that because it was world building and it was a mystery and it was actually really intriguing. The action was terrible in that movie. It was so boring and it was so bland and just I don't want to go off on that movie, but even like Arrival, I loved the normal part of Arrival. When she got a superpower and it got really stupid and dumb, I hated that, but I loved the stuff beforehand of trying to communicate with an alien race. That was really beautifully done. I've loved Prisoners. Prisoners was fantastic. Sicario was good. Um, I like what this director does, but oh my God, was this missing the mark? And so many people said, "Oh, well, they put so much time and attention into this." No, they didn't. No, they did. Easy things you can't, stupid easy things to think of. After Earth did this, 10,000 years of people intermixing and cultures and everything and people changing, their dialects are going to be way different than what we have now. So they're going to have like a single dialect. So everybody from the world, let's say our world, let's say I'm human, those people are aliens, and those are people are Duners, Duners, I don't know. Let's say uh, Dunelings. Dunelings should have their own kind of speech pattern, okay? Dialect. People who are the humans should have their own dialect. We shouldn't have an Asian guy speaking Asian. We shouldn't have a Spanish guy speaking Spanish dialect because 10,000 years have passed of intermingling and all this stuff. People are going to lose their dialects and it's going to come down 10,000 years. It's only been human beings have not been here for 10,000 plus years. It's all completely intermingled. You're going to have a central dialect. I actually gave props to After Earth. That hurts on the inside, okay? That really hurts. But then the people are the Dunelings. They speak just like everybody else. And the people on the other thing, they speak just like everybody else. Everybody speaks the same. In fact, they even have different dialects that are just like the dialects of the other thing. What? At one point, somebody is over there with a freaking bagpipes playing it. Don't you think you're gonna have futuristic bagpipes? This just stupid things like that. Nobody thought of anything. This is the dumbest, pointless, put together, um, futuristic world ever. This does not make any sense whatsoever. Why are you still using wood? Don't you think that wood would be a commodity? Like you need it to breathe, you need the air to breathe from the plants, so you find out how to do it with something else and maybe you would use just some kind of synthesizer that would use it in some way that you don't actually have to blow into something. It would be like a little thing that you're walking around with and or whatever, or you're playing it on some kind of weird device. I don't care. It's something futuristic. Nothing was futuristic in this whole dang thing. People are using paper. People are using cloth. Where's the future? Where's the future? Oh, well, it's a flying machine. It's steampunky, but at the same time, even steampunk has some kind of intelligence with it. And that's the thing that's the problem here. It's not even futuristic steampunk because futuristic steampunk would have a security system, would have maybe some kind of drones, would have things that actually would make sense. None of this made sense. None of this works. It does not fit. The tech does not fit with the story, and the story doesn't fit with the tech and the time frame. I would understand if they were like, a war happened, and then human beings de-evolved into this, and then this happened, and this. Like, give us that kind of a thing, and it would make sense of why the tech is so weird and crap nowadays in this movie. Everything is just it's bad. It's bad. Even the storytelling is bad. I don't understand. The characters are boring. They are not dynamic. They are boring characters. Everybody who's giving this a 10 out of 10 is paid. They are they are working for these companies. It is paid. They're trying to get everybody to come see this because of how amazing and groundbreaking this is. This is just bad. This is not good. The those sandworms are cool for the little bit that you see them. They don't make sense in how they act and why they choose to do certain things. but it's fine. Um, they show up to a thumper that's gung, 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 yet somebody running across and just doing this little sidestep, the and then walk forward. That does not change the fact that you're making the noise. Boom, boom, boom. You're still boom, 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 boom. You're not changing anything. Like they're like, oh well, it mimics the way the Dune works. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is the stupidest thing ever. It's still the same Dune, Dune on in it. It's still the vibrations. They go by vibrations. They, it's so dumb. Oh, it's so dumb. Like to even think that they could even explain that away. Hey, this is how we walk across the sand. We're gonna gallop. We're gonna. Uh, we have to make it sound like we're horses. Let's clap some coconuts together, and we'll make it sound like we're horses. They won't attack us then. They're just going to the sound. Okay, they're just going to the sound. Oh my God, this movie is just a piss poor sci-fi story. Piss poor, and having more to it is just going to be just as dumb because it's just going to be sci-fi. You know what? This is sci-fi medieval battle, future medieval battles. It's dumb. At least in the time machine, they it made sense because humanity destroyed itself and they had to go back underground and they had to do this and that because they blew up the moon. I mean, just the story happened and you see why technology had to go away and then evolve into this tribalistic uh, village like stuff. And like it makes sense. Here, this doesn't make sense. It's just so dumb. It's dumb, dumb, dumb. On the outside, it is a caramel apple. On the inside, it's an onion. And that's the thing. People look at this and they think, "Oh my gosh, look how beautiful it is. It's so pretty." Oh, but oh man, the movie wasn't that great. Okay. Well, you know what? It was pretty to look at, but I didn't care about anything. But it was pretty to look at. I'll give it a good rating because it was pretty to look at. That's not how movies work. You have to judge it on everything. And those of you giving it a 10, uh, here's the thing. I like that you like this movie and I like that you have that opinion. It's when you're saying on your review that this movie is astounding, that it is a triumph of everything. It is this. That's now not opinions. Those are you're trying to say facts. You're trying to say that they did these things well. That that is getting into something where we can look at it and say, no, here's why you're wrong. That's not done well. That's not done well. That's really dumb. That you can say 10 out of 10 because I loved it. That's fine. That's fine. That's opinion. But trying to throw facts in there of why it's so amazing because if it's a 10, no, no. I'm sorry. This movie, I would rate this. I would rate this maybe a 3 to 5 out of 10. It's really bad. It's a waste of time. Thank you.